Welcome back, everyone, to the Oakland Baseball Notebook and also on the Golden Grizzlies social media channels as well. My name is Neal Ruhl, the broadcast voice of the Golden Grizzlies. Happy to be joined by Jordon Banfield, the head baseball coach here for the Oakland University Golden Grizzlies. And Jordan, look, we can jump right into it. You guys now, you've wrapped up the Fall World Series. And really, it's a situation for you, Jordan, where you know the lay of the land. Now you just have to walk the path, right, to the next season and getting things going. So how does that look for you? What are you guys looking to get done these next coming weeks?
For sure. Yeah, as we wrapped up the fall team period, our 20-hour a week time frame where we get to really play a lot of games, and we were inter-squadding 3 days a week the entire fall, even going into before the World Series, and then obviously got those games in, which were really competitive and good. We told the guys from the beginning that our number one goal in the fall was to evaluate what we had. Really get a feel for the roster between the old guys and new guys. Really didn't know any of them that well as far as what they could do on the field outside of a couple. Even the guys that we brought in that we had seen, didn't get to see them very much, if at all, in person with all the rules this summer and everything. So a lot of that was done on video and the phone. So really wanted to give them an opportunity this fall to go out and show us what they can do without us coaching them too much. Skill-wise, we coached on the team aspects and installed our team D, our team O, that kind of stuff. But as far as swings and mechanics and stuff on the mound, really wanted to give them a chance to go compete and put up numbers. We kept stats on everything we did throughout the fall and really gave us, as coaches, a good baseline of numbers to evaluate off of and to give feedback based on. Then we rolled into individual meetings last week. Sat down with each and every guy and just let them know where they stood, what we saw based on what they put out so far, and what that meant for them moving forward, and then put in a plan for the next month, during our individual work where we can really work on skill development.
And Jordan, speaking of that, that's a great segue, man. You got a future in the broadcasting game when the coaching stuff is all said and done. But speaking of that, you did have those discussions, so I'm guessing you probably have an idea, share as much as you can, I guess, with us in terms of a depth chart, a pitching rotation. How are things stacking up? Where exactly does everyone stand?
Sure. Just sort of going around the diamond. I don't have a problem sharing most of this because like I said, the guys know where they stand. We've communicated that to them. The big thing in our program is we're going to tell the truth, both the players to the staff and the staff to the players. So there's certainly some guys that have separated. If you go around the diamond, probably the spot on the entire field we feel best about, and coming in we were maybe most nervous about is the catching spot. We feel like we have three guys there that we can put out there and trust. Starting with the returner Cam Post, who hadn't spent really much time behind the plate the last 2 years, kind of transitioned to the outfield. Not exactly sure why, but he definitely has the ability to help us back there. Did a really good job, threw the ball really well, and just as he continues to get more comfortable with the ball in the dirt and that kind of stuff, really performed on offense. So he's a factor. Grad transfer Brooks Asher, no question, he'll be a factor for us coming over from Kansas, bringing a lot of experience, a lot of calmness, and really did well on offense too. Really produced, did a good job getting on base. Excels in the little game. And then, I won't mention too many freshmen, but Brandon Heidel stood out the entire fall, coming to us from California, guy that we signed this summer. He was as good as any of them. So definitely has put himself in a spot to, make the travel roster and play. If opening weekend were next weekend, he'd start a game. So he really did a good job, moving around. Over at first base, we've got two returners competing there. Blake Griffith, who spent a lot of time there in the past. And then Michael Steigels has moved over to first base, spent more time in the outfield last year. Athletically, first, fits him better. And he's a proven offensive guy at this level. So they're competing there. We'll also factor in at DH. And then moving over to second, that's probably a spot that hasn't been solidified. A lot of ongoing competition there. Gabe Lux, Josh Dudden, some others could mix in there as well. The left side, if it was tomorrow, would be some mix of Tyler Trovinger and Jared Miller. Don't know which guy would go where, but those guys have separated themselves for sure. Jared was our top offensive performer in the whole program this fall. And then in the outfield, Brenton Phillips for sure. Coming out of the fall will be a strong factor, most likely in center field. Guy that I've have a relationship with and have seen more of than some other guys, but defensively, a lockdown guy out there, and he was second to our team and hitting this fall. Probably over in right if we had to play tomorrow. Seth Tucker's sort of moved himself out ahead, Division III transfer, fastest guy we have on the team. Done a really good job. Good to have another center fielder out there. And in left, it's definitely open. Left is definitely open. Could be a mix of a number of guys. Cam Post could factor in out there. And then I'll mention one more freshman, Reagan Paulina, really stood out on offense this fall. He's a guy that continued to produce on offense, came to us as an infielder, probably didn't play as well as he wanted to defensively there. And he's spending his time now in the outfield for this year. And we have our sights set on moving him behind the plate in the long run. I think his skill set fits really well back there. Super focused baseball guy, works really, really hard. And I think his arm will play better back there when we can eliminate some of the footwork piece that there is on the infield. So, positionally, I'm sure I left somebody out. You always do. But those are the guys that really have, separated themselves on paper this fall in terms of what they produced.
As far as the pitching staff goes, and Jordan, look, man, I mean, you and I talked about this. This has been a concern in the past. I know it's a concern to you because you've addressed it, but you like the direction that your guys certainly have gone because it's a bottom line business, right? You throw strikes or you don't, especially in college baseball, especially in the Horizon League. You have to throw strikes, and at times, especially with the level of hitters that are in the Horizon League, at times you just got to throw a strike and hope they get themselves out, right? What guys do you have that you can count on to go out there and throw strikes?
Well, I think as we kind of touched briefly on before, that's the spot that early in the fall it was like, geez, man, we're in a whole heap of trouble here. And it was good to see a lot of guys really progress, throughout the fall. The one guy that was most consistent established himself, the only guy that I could tell you that if we play, a weekend series tomorrow, he'd be in the rotation, Travis Densmore, our most consistent guy throughout, threw 3 pitches in the zone at all times, a left-hander that's a sophomore from Arizona, came to us, guy I had known back when I was working out there when he was in high school and just really, really continued to develop. Did an outstanding job all fall, was our guy that was just continually the most comfortable out there, looked like he belonged, controlled the game. So he separated himself for sure. The guy with probably the best stuff that could fill a number of roles is Hayden Neerman, another Arizona guy, throws from a sidearm slot, run it up, touch 90 from there, pretty rare skill. The thing we don't know about Hayden is where he best fits. Is he a rotation guy? Does he fit on the back end? And that's going to be huge for him. We'd like to give him a chance to start. Don't see that from low angle guys a ton, but feel like his stuff will play there. He does throw a changeup, which is rare. The biggest thing for him is going to be continuing to develop his body and being able to hold up. I mean, Hayden as a junior is about, I think he came to us at 6'1", 150. If we can continue to push that up, he's up 10 already since being here. Has done a good job of being devoted, both in the weight room and in terms of taking in the number of calories that we need him to. But if he can hold up, he'll be a candidate there too. And then the other guys that have given themselves a chance throughout the fall would be Bryce Conitzer, another transfer from Madison Area Tech in Wisconsin. Previously at Illinois State, did a good job, continued to improve. Maybe our most improved guy is a returner, Brandon Deans. Brandon, early on really struggled, to be frank, and I told him this, looked like he didn't belong out there. Couldn't throw a strike, couldn't find the zone, couldn't control the run game, and just really, really did a good job being diligent about improving in the areas that he knew he needed to. And I think another piece is he just settled in. He got more comfortable being out there, comfortable with new staff being around, comfortable competing. That's one of the biggest things that the guys shared with us is just the amount of inter squads, the amount that we played, the amount that we were on the field, different than what they're used to. And I think it took some guys some time to adjust there. So there's some other names. Certainly if we can get Jacob Wozinski to full strength, that'd be a huge impact piece and a guy that would change our pitching staff. So he's hammering away at rehab, and we're certainly excited about getting him back when we're able to, sort of hoping for a conference target there. He's a guy that would make a big difference for us. It'd take a lot of pressure off a lot of other guys, being able to sort of slide them into the roles that they probably fit best.
And Jordan, before we let you go here, this is a baseline discussion that we've had, that we'll continue to have. I'm sure today, tomorrow, down the road, we've had before. The culture that you're looking to impart upon this program, that's been a big topic of discussion. How has the progression been as far as implementing that culture? Where do you see this culture? What's the ceiling for the culture of Oakland baseball?
Absolutely. I think that gives me a chance to touch on one guy I'd be remiss not to throw out as far as the pitchers. Dan Rutan pitched well all fall. If you came watch him throw a bullpen, you wouldn't say, certainly that he's one of our most guys with the most God-given ability, but he did an awesome job this fall competing and, really, really produced, continued to fill it up. And he's going to have a role for us this spring for sure. So couldn't leave him out. And he ties into the culture piece too. Obviously we made the decision as a staff to name him captain. Really that was driven by me. And I told the guys from the start that, I value that title. I don't believe in just giving it out to give it out as a reward. We were only going to do that, especially in year one, if somebody made it obvious that they were the leader of our team. And Dan made that really obvious. So as a coaching staff, he's made it easier on us because, he does a good job reinforcing our values. We made it really clear that we value hard work. We value the guy that shows up every day, that doesn't complain, that doesn't always have an issue, that we can trust, the guy that isn't a problem, that just puts his head down and grinds away. And Dan, number one, exemplifies that on his own. But number two, he showed a willingness to hold other guys accountable for not meeting the standard in any area. And really has done a good job making it easy, on us as a staff, not having to be the guys that are always holding everybody accountable, and I think we saw as the fall went on, early there'd be some little stuff, something as simple as a guy shows up to practice in the wrong socks or something that really, in the grand scheme of things isn't that big a deal and isn't going to win or lose us a game, but we think is important just because it gets guys to pay attention to everything that they're doing. Everything we do matters. Calling something a little thing means it's not important. There's nothing little. It all matters, and we're just going to do everything right. There's a right way to do everything, a wrong way to do everything, and just getting our guys to make the right decision every time has been huge, and they've been awesome about buying in. I mean, I'm certain that sometimes they had kind of a crooked look in their head, when we told them some of that stuff, like, Coach, man, why does this matter? Well, it might not, but it matters because we say it does, and it's part of the culture that we want to have here. We want guys that are, act like adults, and we're going to treat them like adults. So they've done a really good job, from my perspective, buying in and putting in the work that's necessary. It takes what it takes to be good, and we want guys that are willing to do what it takes.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, you always meet the standards for me anyway, so I appreciate your time as always. So for the head baseball coach, Jordon Banfield, my name is Neal Ruhl, the voice of the Golden Grizzlies. Thanks for watching, everybody. Well, see you later.